Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to Smart Contact Labs. So in today's lecture, we are going to design a user management system using a smart contract and in Remix IDE. So let's see what is user management system and what are the different functionality we will provide using smart contract. So these are the details, description of a user management system, or details of a user management system in terms of different functions and the different roles we can provide using this system. A user management system is a software solution basically, and it is designed to handle administration and management of user accounts with a digital system or maybe a application or maybe for a application. So it depends upon the requirement, but it provides a certain standard features like you can add the user profiles and by giving the different attribute details like username, address, and what its role and so on. And we can also provide the update function in this system. For example, if user wants, they can update their information later on. And we can also specify the different user roles, like the user may be maybe admin or moderator or normal user. So depending upon that situation, we can get the users with different specifically for different roles like get user with admin role or moderator and so on. So here, this management system is going to be a simple one. So we are going to provide only 3 functions in it. If you want, you can add more function as per your requirement. And if you want to practice more in this system, you can also add functions for deleting the user accounts or for organizing user accounts and for managing the user access rights. But in this lecture, we just work on these functions that I have listed here. First one is your add user profile, in which users can add their user profiles by providing different attributes, and then update user. Instead of updating all the information, I just mentioned update username, so that it allows user to update their username. But you can modify this function as a practice session, so that you just need to design one function called update, and in which you will update all the user information, maybe the role as well, right? So it depends. Now, last function is get users with admin roles. So this is a kind of template function. So you can modify this function for getting the different types of roles. For example, I have added different users, and from that list, I just want the users having that admin role. So I can use, and I will provide that functionality in this function. So let's start the coding part. So here, I have already opened the Remix ID, and you can do the same by by just type on Google that Remix ID Ethereum and just click on the very first link and you can find it. Now under the smart contract lab, I'll create one file and name it as user management. And under this, first two things that we need to specify. So instead of writing these two things again and again, the license identifier and the version of the compiler, so I just copy from here, from this file to user management code like this, right? So first it defines the license identifier that we want in this file, and next one specify the compiler version. So here compiler version is the latest one, that is 0.8.24. So next step is to create a contract. For creating a contract, we have a contract keyword, and the name of the contract is user management, and just define its scope. And whenever we start the coding part, first we declare the state variables. What are state variables? That we declare under the contract and outside the functions. And after declaring all the contract variables that we need to define different functions, we will work on modifiers and see whether we need certain modifiers, constraints or conditions with while we do the coding of the different functions, and then we will straightforward step by step declare or define the different functions that I have listed in this diagram, right? So starting first, we need to specify the different roles we have in this user management. That means here we have declared that we have three different roles: user roles, admin, moderator, and user. So let's do that. And I told you, so whenever we have a different categories, so you can use the enumerator for defining the different categories options. So enum, and the name of this enum is role, and we always specify the category under the curly braces separated by comma. So first one is your admin, second one is your moderator, and third one is your user, normal user. So this is how you can define the different role under one name. And next is a user profile. So whenever we want to store the multiple data type variables under one name, so we have a very structure that is a data structure in which you can store the multiple data type values under one name, and I name it as user profile. And this is the scope of this structure. And first one is your user address. So that stored the address of the user. Next is your username, and third one is your role, like this. And you can also take the contact details if you want, but I want only these three information, right? I guess these information are enough for this for maintaining the user profile. Now next, for storing that address wise the information of the user profile, we can create one mapping. And so we have a key of address type, and second key is of user profile type, right? The struct type. And we can name it, we can make this as public and user profile. So this is the name of this mapping. So what we are doing for each address, we are storing the information of the user profile, right? We are maintaining this information address, and also like so this is a general one. We are keeping this information for all type of users, whether that user is moderator or normal user or admin, right? But in one function, we need to get the user details admin wise. So that's why I need to create one mapping, one array as well, that is store the information whenever we have a user, whenever user specify the role as admin, right? So we will store that information in this array. So that's why we are doing this, because we can so that we can provide the functionality here, right? Next, let's straightforward work on the different functions. So your first function is to create profile, or add the user profile. You can say add user profile. And here you can pass the different values that you want to store in this structure. So first one is your address, and second one is your name, and then role. And so you can pass the address as address is a user address, and next one is your name, string memory username. Next one is your role, should be role type and underscore role, like this, and just make this as public. And that's all to define its scope, right? So this is how we have declared this variable. It's public, and this is the function definition now. Now what we want to do is we just use this mapping, that is our general profile, user profile, and we will store all this parameter, all this value under this by using this structure user profile. How we are doing this? Let's do this. That will be more clear to, then it will be more clear to you. So the name of the mapping is user profile, right? Like this. This is your user profile, and the first key a key value is address here. So here the address should be the user who is calling this function, and it should be equal to the user profile, because whenever you are um, calling the user profile, you have to specify all the information under the curly braces, right? And by parameter wise, so first one is your user address, and it should be, sorry, the name of the parameter is user address, and it should be equal to the user address that we are providing as a parameter. Next one is your username. Username should be equal to underscore username. And next one is your role. So role is role here, and here the parameter is role. Right. So this is how you can add the user profile. Here I miss I here. So now, because I want to manage this information as well, admin user addresses. So here in this, when you are adding user profile, new user profile, so in that case, you can at the same time you can check whether user is added as an admin. So for that, if user is an admin, so we can store that information in this mapping at the same time. So I'll use if a statement and check whether that user has been added as a admin or not, right? So I'll check that information by using this role. If it is equal to role dot admin, right? If it is equal to role dot admin, then I just need to update this information. That means admin user addresses should be or because this is an array, so I have to use push here, and for push I use this curly braces, and here I just add the user address like this, right? So at the same time, we are maintaining both the information. So here we have a mapping where we are maintaining the user profile by using the address, and we are mapping it with the address to the structure. Next, we have admin addresses here. So admin user addresses, because I want to create one function in which I just need the name of all users who are who are added as an admin, right? So that's why I'm just checking here as well that if the role they have added as role.admin, then I need to store that information in this array. Right, next we have a function to update the username. So create this function, update username. And while you are updating the username, you just need a new username that you want to update, string memory and new username, and just make this variable as public, right? So whenever you are using the function, so first we need to check whether user has entered something or not as a username. So for this information, you can use one require statement here, require, and here I'm calculating the bytes of what this variable new username, and I'm calculating its length. If its length should be greater than 0, if its length is greater than 0, then it's fine. That means yes, user has entered something. Otherwise, I just need to display error message that username should be, username cannot be empty, or should be of these many characters, you can say. You can also apply this functionality that if you want that username should be of 5 characters, then you can apply that, think about it, and apply this functionality here, right? Next is And the updation part, because we have a user profile here. So I can access this user profile. And by using this user profile, I just update message.sender the address, because in this user profile, we are maintaining this address. And it should be like this. It's user profile message.sender dot username should be equal to the new username, just like that. If you want to update many other information as well, you can update the role as well like this, but here I'm just updating the username. So first I took a new username as a parameter, then I'm checking whether the user has entered something, because it cannot be empty. And after this, I'm just using this mapping, that is a generic user profile mapping. And for that address, I'm updating the username attribute as a new username. Right. Now, next is to get users with admin role. So function get users with admin role. So this is the function name, and it should be of public type. And here we are just getting the information by accessing the state variables. We are not modifying anything. So that's why it should be of view types. And it returns what? It will return the name of all the admins that we have added till now. So it should be of string type, string array, right? So that is done. Now, I want to access the admin username. So for that, because there obviously, if I am adding 100 of users, so there may be maybe around 20 or 30 users I've added as an admin, or user added as an admin, right? So for that scenario, we need to maintain a certain local array, so that we can store all these admin usernames under it. So I am creating one string for storing the all admin usernames like this. And whenever you are creating so this is how we can create a new array. S should be small, right? And here I just need to specify the length of it. So the length of this should be admin user address dot length, because this is the mapping where I'm storing the addresses of all the admins. So that's why I took this array length as the length of this newly created array. Right, now I just need to use one for loop and access all this information and store in the newly created array and then return it. So that's all I need to do. So I'm creating one for loop. So I have created one a variable, that is I, initialize it to 0, and the length it should be I is less than the admin users, like we dot length, and then I plus plus. So this is how you can create for loop. Second, I missed the semicolon here, so that's why it was showing the error here. Right. Next, yes, and now I use this array and use this admin user names for accessing the details. And here I used user profiles because where we are storing all this information. User profile, right? It should be like use small user profile, and here I'll pass admin user addresses I, right? Dot username. Let me explain you this. Let me finish this and I'll explain you to all of you. Right. So what we are doing, we have created one local array, name it as admin usernames, in which we are going to store all the users name that has been added as a admin, right? And here I'm using the general this user profile array mapping, because we have stored all the user information in this user profile. And because in this is a mapping, and the first we always pass the all the addresses, admin user addresses under it. And because this is also an array, so that's why I pass this I as a parameter index, and dot username, I'm accessing which information, the username information. So this is how it works. I guess, I hope you all understood this statement. Now, when it is done, so this array contains all the names of admins that we have added so far, and I just need to return this admin usernames. That's all. So that's all we have done, or we have declared, we have defined all the functions that we have specified here. Add user profile, add update username. So let's compile this first. So it is compiled, great, and deploy it, because there is no constructor, just deploy it directly. So yes, it is success. Thank God. Whenever you saw this green tick, so it's a very good feeling. So first, let's add user profile first. So for adding the user profile, what are the different parameters you need to provide? So for example, I want to add this as a user. So I just copy here and I'm executing from here. So this is the address of a user, and then provide the name as Pratima, and then the role, because we have 3 roles. And I told you, whenever you want to access the enumerator list, so we always refer their index. So first 0 is your admin, and 1 is your moderator, and 2 is your, so I'm adding it as a user, so I taking 2 as a, so add user profile. It's success. Now we have added. Now let's add one more user. So I'm just copying another address here, delete it, Control V, right? Second, your username, and Kate, and next I'm adding it this user as a admin. So the 0, add user profile, right? Let's add one more user as a admin, Control V, and then name it as John, and then add it as a admin, like this. So it's done. So we have added, sorry, we have added 2 users, three users actually, 2 admin type and 1 is of user type. So we have, what is this? Get users with admin role. So it is not returning anything. Let me check. So admin user, or let me check whether they are, yes, they are storing the 2 addresses. Here we have first address and second address, both are admin, and we can update this, and you can pass this information here to check the user profile. Okay. It's not returning anything. Why so? User profile. Okay, let me copy this address and pass it. Yes, now we have addresses, because this is the address from which we have added the different users. So now it is showing the information. Okay. So how it is working, because I have added all the users from one address, so that's why it's showing. Let me add from different addresses. Control V, name is KK, and moderator user profile. Then use the second one, copy it, and name is LL, and should be of admin type 1. Now let's check whether we are getting this information or not. No, get users with admin role. We have admin user addresses, 2 addresses, but we are not getting get users with admin role. Let me check this one. Admin usernames. This is the new array. Admin username. Yes, this is the new I've created the user dot addresses dot length. Now user address dot length, and I'm just admin usernames, then user profile, and then admin user addresses dot I, and user addresses dot I. Dot username. It's correct. And then we are just returning the usernames. This function by using this data. Get the users. Just playing an error. Though we are getting this information in this admin user addresses, but still it's not returning the names, but it should return the names because the code is correct. Let's debug it a little bit and then dot length, and then username, user profile. So profile is this, and here variables is the addresses that we have stored here. 0 for 0 and 0 dot username. That's correct. Let me deploy it again. This address, deploy, it's done. And then I'll add the address of the user, and the name is at I'm adding it as an admin, add user profile. Right. Next, I'm taking this address and adding it as a user. User for user, we have so next I need to provide the name. Name is and user it as 1 and it right now I use this delete it, copy its address here, add it as an admin. Name is as file and it should be admin 0. Just add it. So I have added 3. Now admin user address, I just want a 0. So I'm getting the address as this, and then for 1, this is the address. For 2, no, we don't have 2. We have added only 2. And then for get users, and now I am getting hurry and pal. Routlet. I have added 2 or 3 users from the same address, so that's why it's creating that problem. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.